intrinsic level, we're trying to reduce the impact of our operations on the environment, and anything that can help us do that and head towards carbon neutrality is pretty good. So my name's Olivia, or Liv Faulkner.
I'm George Faulkner, and this property is Haddon Rig, and it's situated 30 k's from Warren, New South Wales.
So Haddon Rig is an aggregation of 3 properties, so Boomanalla, Braemar and Haddon Rig, and altogether it's about 64,000 acres. We have a variety of enterprises, predominantly it's commercial sheep, and we have a merino stud, and we have dry lamb farming, so wheat and whatever the season allows, irrigated cotton, as just a function of where we are and how much power we're using was really impacting us when it cut out, which was often. And especially when we have that many people on, like 30 extra shearers, and you're paying them, you want to make sure that everyone can do what they need to do. So when we saw this program, we were like, well, it's a no-brainer. We really need to do something to fix the reliability.
We've worked with New South Wales DPI on-farm energy pilot to put in a renewable energy package for Haddon Rig. What you can see here is a 100 kilowatt solar system, and also in the shed we've got a 150 kilowatt hour battery. Together they make up a renewable energy package that gives the farm approximately 70% energy independence.
So we have installed approximately around 240 panels of bifacial solar panels, and then we have around 18 to 20 modules of SunGrow batteries.
Well, I think the last sort of 2-3 decades, we've been getting a lot more mechanised across all of our operations, and it's getting a lot more intensive and a lot more efficient, which has led to a lot of more energy use. And what we were finding the last 10 years is the reliability of the supply out here. And we really need to do something to fix the reliability.
This 100 kilowatt system actually supplies some of the facilities with Haddon Rig. The main supply points are the office, the main accommodation, the workers' maintenance shed, we have our bull shed, and we have our feedlot, and all of these are actually powered up by the 100 kilowatt system from North Supply.
We decided to put in an automated sheep feedlot, which is run on a computerised feed-out system with fully automated computer-controlled augers for delivering the feed through a tube system to the sheep each day. And that really hates brownouts and blackouts. Well, it doesn't work because there's no backup battery. So it was an essential part of putting that in and trying to work out a decent power supply for it. And that's one of the big main attraction. You can send the shearers home, but you can't send the sheep home when they're in the feedlot. And the only way to get the feed out to them is electrically driven. So it was a really important part to get that sorted out. And now we can operate that 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with no downtime and 100% reliability.
And that plays into our ability to attract workers. Like if they've got families and their wives have children, or their husbands, whichever way it goes, they need to have the security that they can call the hospital, call the school, and similarly use the internet, because it's all through Starlink here, and that requires power. So it's multi-layered. And also, if we say supply of electricity is unreliable, you can't get anyone. Backpackers, managers, it's just something you have to have these days.
A system like this really gives reliability and security to the farm and the operations, as well as peace of mind. You wake up and realise that we're going to have the farm operational today regardless of the weather or what's going on in the grid.
The solution that provides to the farmer is he can monitor the system from anywhere in the world. He can actually see what's happening on site, where the load is getting consumed, what the solar system is doing, if there is any faults with the solar system, if there is any faults with the grid, how the batteries are performing.
And we can see there right now, that's just kicked right up with 46, 47 kilowatts.
And we can see on this graph here that over the last month, approximately 25 to 30% of your site usage is grid and the rest is solar and battery. And that sort of rings true with what you're seeing on bills and the like.
Yeah, we're seeing about a 70% saving on the North Supply, which is fantastic, especially, as I say, because the price of energy's gone up so much. So, no, that's really good. And it gives you encouragement to look at another battery somewhere, because you can see how much it can help.
Through this level of monitoring, we've been able to display and show, report and draw down those reports. Any farmer, and in this case Haddon Rig, is able to now do some future planning around what type of loads they might bring in, from whether it be mills or future bore pumps or the like. They can start to plan what times of day they'll run those, and the monitoring really supports the decision making around the operations of the farm.
This is the most important bore on the property. It pumps water 30 kilometres round the southern end of the property, probably does 25 paddocks with tanks and troughs, and we're running out there
10,000 sheep probably and about 200 cows, so it's a very important line that we have to check a lot and make sure it's going. So yeah, it's good, it's now hooked up.
Got a timer on there that we make the bore run during the day and have it off at night time, so we've already got that matched up. It's cut the power down by about 50%. Doesn't get affected by blackouts, so yeah, it just keeps going every day. It's very reliable.
This is actually a bifacial panel, so if you look at the panels there, it actually produces energy from both ends. So that's what we use it in on ground mounts. So when the sunlight hits on this end, it produces around 80 to 90% of the energy. And then when it gets refracted into the glass, it actually reflects back and it produces additional extra 15% energy.
Oh, great.
So on an annual base, you actually get 30% more production out of the 100 kilowatt system using a bifacial panel.
So I think in total, it's reduced our power bill by about 2/3 every year, which is a savings of about 20 grand. And that includes the office, the savings on the feedlot, savings on the wool shed, savings on the ram shed, saving on some of the bores that we run from it. So it's been significant. And at that rate, the payoff will be about 8 years, which we sort of factored into in the beginning and we're okay with, given the significant investment and where we're heading as a company. So it's been a good investment.
I wake up in the morning, and if I wake up early at say 6 a.m. and I hit the light switch and there's been a big thunderstorm overnight and there's no power, I then think, oh, well, in the next 10 seconds to a minute there should be some power, and lo and behold, the light comes on, and that never used to happen. So that's starting to give us a very good sense of well-being when you get up in the morning. So now you can come home and think, oh well, even if there's a brownout or blackout, the other system will click back in and life will go on. And so, you know, we are starting to feel a lot calmer from an energy supply variability perspective.
There's been a lot said around energy independence, and ultimately that's why you put a system like this in place. It not only saves you money, but it gives you that true reliability and the security from what is often a failing grid. And what we're seeing, whether it's fires, floods or other really major weather events that are happening more and more often in Australia, there's never been a better time to get independent in terms of your energy use. And being able to produce solar on the farm is definitely the first step in energy independence.